We have Ireland's 23-man squad then to face France in this epic showdown, which could take Ireland from Triple Crown winners to Six Nations champions and leave the door open for a Grand Slam, which would be a fairy tale finish for some Irish legends, all three of which are in the matchday squad for this game in Dublin, which is going to be emotional. It's going to be heart palpitating, and I cannot wait. How slowly has this week gone with the excitement of this game? And I'm neutral. And I'm feeling it. It's like a kid waiting for Christmas. But we have the team now. Saturday will arrive. And it's going to live up to the billing, I'm sure. There is the 23 men that are going to take on France for Ireland in Dublin. Your thoughts in the comments down below. Please give the video a thumbs up as well. That just helps spread the word. It's just me. I'm Tim and this is Egg Chasers. This is a one-man band. And I love that you're on board. Thank you very much. Let me know what you reckon. I mean, Jamie Osborne is the most interesting selection. I'll get into that one. He is into the 15. Onto the bench is Rob Herring, and it's a 6-2 split on the bench as well. And there are some significant names not there who I'm sure would have given an extra layer of comfort to an Ireland fan approaching this game. The sight of no Tadhg Furlong is a massive shame. I was looking back actually, and I've got a video coming on the channel about the 2023 match 2 years ago. And Tadhg Furlong wasn't available for that one either, and Finlay Bealham did really well that day. And he's been great in this Six Nations Championship. We can talk about the bench, and I will in a minute. And another thing to say is at the end of this video, I will have a combined 23-man squad. If you had access to all 23 Frenchmen involved, all of these 23 Irishmen, who would you put, when you go head-to-head, who would you put in a combined 23-man squad, and what does that tell us? I will tell you it's quite revealing, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But, yeah, no Tadhg Furlong, no Mac Hansen, that is a blow, no Ronan Kelleher, but Rob Herring, an able deputy, and nice to see Ulster represented in the 23 as well. And of course, no Gary Ringrose, which we knew about due to his suspension. By the way, I haven't even talked about that on the channel. And that's just added an extra layer of spice building up to this one, with France's noses being put out of joint by the fact that Ireland claimed Simon Easterby went in front of the authorities and said in person, yes, we would have sent Gary Ringrose back to Leinster, and we wanted to see him play on the wing to give him some experience there so we could have a look at him. Giving some experience to a guy with over 60 caps to his name. All I know is, all I've learned from that is, it's added an extra layer of, like I say, spice in the build-up. France feeling a bit aggrieved. And secondly, I've learned I will never play poker against Simon Easterby, because that guy has got a stone face, to be able to say that. But, hey, I mean, the midfield that Ireland have got, you could have argued Gary Ringrose may have been on the bench anyway, because Ireland are stacked there, as they are across the team. Before I go into the detail, just one final word. What a moment for Peter O'Mahony. And is it not just the most Peter O'Mahony thing to do to play himself into such good form that he gets a starting spot in the biggest game of the Six Nations? The belligerence and the sacrifice and the aches and pains that he's probably put his body through in order to do that. And he is going to get a hero's ovation when he leaves the field. And the same goes for Cian Healy and Conor Murray when they enter the field. They are part of a 6-2 bench split. Jamie Osborne then, that is the most interesting selection. He's on the right wing. No Mac Hansen is a shame. And Calvin Nash will feel hard done by, because every time he's been called upon, when Mac Hansen was out for an extended time with injury, Calvin Nash came in and was excellent. Why Jamie Osborne then? Well, firstly, he is an excellent player and he's got big game experience. He played in those games out in South Africa and was excellent covering for Hugo Keenan. So you can have total confidence in him. Really good footballer as well. And the kicking game tactically is going to be massive. Ireland have started to kick the ball a little bit more than they did last year. France kick it a fair bit too. Both teams tend to keep the ball in the field. So aerial skills come into it as well. And do you know, I think maybe where Calvin Nash probably has just missed his spot is that Jamie Osborne, even being on the field, even being available, it enables the 6-2 split. Jamie Osborne last week or 2 weeks ago was number 23 in a 5-3 split on the bench. If you want to go 6-2 split, which Ireland probably feel like they need to do to take on this French pack and the 7 forwards off the bench that they've got coming at them, you need to have Jamie Osborne involved because of his versatility. Although I will say, what happens if an Irish player goes down on the wing? If James Lowe or Jamie Osborne get injured, then we probably assume that it's going to have to be Robbie Henshaw who steps out onto the wing. And look, he's a smart enough player. He can do that job. But maybe there is a slight compromise there. It's a trade-off, as with the France 7-1 split. It's a risk, but it's a calculated one. But like I say, that won't be any comfort to Calvin Nash right now. The concern for Ireland, I mean, their pack is so balanced, so well settled. The concern is that replacement Irish front row. That would be, if I were Irish, that would be where my nerves would be. If Andrew Porter goes down injured, you're in trouble. Because does Simon Easterby really trust Cian Healy for more than 10 minutes? I think it's going to have to be another monster shift for Andrew Porter, who's proven he's got that in his locker. Thomas Clarkson, really promising player. He's not Tyg Furlong, although they've managed with him before. And Rob Herring, really good player. He's not Ronan Kelleher. So, although I think his darts are generally quite good. Well, he was a bit off in the autumn, wasn't he? But there you go. You can say that for all the Irish hookers. They haven't quite been at their very peak best. But what I would say is the strength on the bench, and what I think could be decisive for Ireland, is they do have the firepower to take on the French meat that is going to be coming off their bench. James Ryan, Jack Conan, Ryan Baird. Yeah, that's about as good as it gets. As for, and I said I would do a 23-man squad, let me just remind you of that French side. So the headlines for France, did a video on it earlier. They've gone for the 7-1 split again. Massive risk. Not sure I would have done the same, but hey, Fabien Galtier, he's not going to leave it to chance. He's rolling the dice and going for it. That means only Luku is the only back on the bench. And Romain Ntamak and Damien Penaud, big game players, they come in. And other than that, as you were, except for Emmanuel Meafou, who is fit to be on the bench. Now, if you had all 23 of these Frenchmen and you had all 23 Irishmen, what would you put together in a combined 23-man squad? And what does that tell us about how this game is going to go? I've gone for this. And look, all it does is, and even as I'm looking at it now, there's a couple that I would change and flip around, because I was changing my mind back and forth. And that's basically what I came to. These two teams are so amazingly well matched, almost 1 to 23. You could have a debate over any individual player. Jean-Baptiste Gros at loosehead prop has been excellent for France this Six Nations. Andrew Porter is Andrew Porter. He is just elite, so I've gone for him. Sheehan versus Malvaca. Now this was probably, there's a few positions where you have got the two best players in their position in the world going head to head, and Malvaca and Sheehan is one of those. They're the two best hookers, in my opinion. I actually rank Sheehan slightly above Malvaca, but based on what I've seen in the Six Nations so far, I've just gone for Malvaca. Again, I could quite easily have gone for Finlay Bealham, who I think has been brilliant in the Six Nations. And Owini Atonio, whilst he's got massive strengths, he does look gassed in games quite early. So that was a coin flip. I just went for Atonio. This is the one where I've probably changed my mind now. I would go for Joe McCarthy over Tyg Byrne, just because of the balance in the second row. Flamont and Byrne are both kind of line out forwards, ball runners. The grunt that McCarthy brings is going to be significant. And so I might have changed my mind there. But again, all that does is go to show that it's so close. Francois Cross, Josh van der Fleer, no-brainer on the flanks. Caelan Doris and Gregory Aldrit is a matchup that is incredible. Just went for Doris. So 4 French forwards, 4 Irish forwards, and into the back line where it's the French halfbacks. And that matchup between Gibson Park and Dupont is worth paying the money to go and see it on its own. The two best scrum halves in the world. And I mean, Gibson Park would be out there on his own if it wasn't for a certain Antoine Dupont. That matchup is going to be magic. Ntamak over Prendergast. Massive day for Prendergast. The biggest day of his life. And he's got a massive challenge. And France are going to send the artillery straight at Sam Prendergast, aren't they? When Meafou comes on, I reckon he's going to be on a mission. Run at Prendergast. Because some people have questioned Prendergast's defence. He's going to have to be brave, or Ireland are going to have to be tactically very smart. But there's no doubt Prendergast has got it where it really counts. And can he get this Irish team moving? Well, he's got loads of experience outside him. And I've picked 4 of those Irishmen in the players outside of the halfbacks. Only Damien Penaud for France gets in above his opposite number. And that's to get over Jamie Osborne. But James Lowe, Bundy Aki, Robbie Henshaw, Hugo Keenan, that is absolutely class in the back line. I mean, there's not many players. When you look outside this is almost a Northern Hemisphere squad. You don't need to look much past Ireland and France. Maybe one or two players getting in here and there, but pretty much this is it. On the bench, France do have firepower. Those 4 Toulouse forwards, front 5 forwards, the whole front row, Marchand, Bay, Aldegheri and Miafu as well. That could be a decisive area of the game for France. Equally, I think James Ryan and Jack Conan are outstanding, and they could make a massive difference for Ireland. Will the 7-1 split backfire? I've gone for a 6-2 split with Luku and Crowley, meaning in the 23-man squad, well, the starting team, 8 Irishmen, 7 Frenchmen, and on the bench, 5 Frenchmen, 3 Irishmen, making it 12 Frenchmen, 11 Irishmen. But most of those positions, coin flip, and I could quite happily take the other player. It is going to be amazing. And actually, for once, this combined team quite often reveals something about how the game might go. I'm not so sure this one does. Potentially replacement front row could be influential. How deep into the game can Porter get? We will see. It's going to be massive. It's going to be great. Can't wait. Leave your thoughts down below, and I will see you on the next video. Loads of stuff coming ahead of and during this weekend's rugby.